Battlefield 4 is one of those games I am absolutely hooked on at the moment. The sheer destruction and chaos around you is some of the greatest I have ever seen in a video game, let alone a Battlefield game. It has tons of replay value, with 4 unique classes that all have their own unique kits. Do you want to go be a team player in the crowded shitstorms of Locker and Metro? Go assault with a medkit and defib. You like to blow shit up in a spectacular fashion? Play as the engineer class and bring a rocket launcher with you. There's a rocket launcher for every situation. Javelins, stingers, RPG-7, you name it. Or maybe you even like being the memester that goes for the funny kills with the EOD bot or the SUAV. This game has everything. And you probably already read the title. Yep, I unlocked the DICE LA camo in 2021, a whole 6 years after it was first released. Here's how I did it. I started with doing some research, and the map this had to be done on was Dragon's Valley 2015, which of course was fine to me. So I looked up some videos on JackFrag's channel, and I found out there was 8 hidden toggle switches around the map, and the lanterns by Objective H would light up in a unique pattern for every player every time the game started. Nobody saw the same lights on. Next, I was told to download some software by a guy named PsychoDuck. The zip file had 2 EXEs, Morse Decoder and EE Solver. The former would continuously scan a single pixel on my screen for a pattern that Morse code works in. There's a ton of videos on how Morse code works, so I'm not going to go into it here, but we'll come back on this one later. The latter has an algorithm built into it that decodes the unique pattern of the lanterns I see. Next up, I would have to find a server to do this on. Obviously, I would never get anything remotely done in a public match, so playing on the average server was out of the question. The initial Easter egg steps also require me to be on an unranked server. AE51 has a couple servers in the browser labeled Part 1 and Part 2, so I joined Part 1 and started noting down which of the lamps at Objective H were on and which were off. The Easter egg solver had a nice UI that let me tick in the lamps, and that helped a ton. An admin then joined. I explained I was doing the Easter egg and how I was doing it. They immediately asked me what the fuck was I doing, and restarted the map. Apparently the process was trickier than just zigzagging across the points. Here's how it had to be done. I had to find it, press the button, go back to the temple at H, and note down all the lamps that were on or off. Then I had to go back to that button and turn it off. And this had to be done for all 8 buttons. Yikes. But one benefit of this being a Battlefield game is the addition of helis, jets, and spawn beacons. Each time I pressed one of the buttons, I would go back to the temple and note down the lamps. Then I would go back to that point and turn it off. And then I would go to the next objective and repeat that process. Simple enough. For those curious, here's each location for the buttons. The first one I was told to go to was nearby the temple, right about here. The A point is literally inside of a tree a bit away from the point itself. C4 is recommended. B point has it on the second row of roofing. The third one near C was inside an unfinished furnace. The fourth takes us to G, where I gotta climb under a small pier. The next one was hidden inside of a waterfall, which required me to dive underwater to press it. And finally, this one on a rock near E. After doing that for about 30-40 minutes, I was asked to come back to H after pressing all the buttons. My combination for the Easter egg was pier, rock, and temple. After I pressed the third button, I heard a beep. And now I had to type in a preset code on a number pad by H, which was the same as for everyone else. 839-808-00-000. There's some hidden meaning behind this which I won't get into here. After that, the lantern around the corner started flashing in Morse code. This is where the decoder got in handy. It said, and I quote, "Now join a ranked conquest large game. Stand at the west side of the shaft of the northwestern water tower for 2 minutes. Then use this individual code there. 485-984-256. Do keep in mind this was my personalized code, so it will not work for you." That left me going to a Part 2 server, which is a ranked server, and I had to stand at the west side of the northwestern tower for 2 minutes. Sounds simple enough. I joined the 4-player server, went over to the water tower, stood by the west side, and waited. And waited. And waited. Until eventually I looked up at how others did it. After the 2-minute mark, I actually had to go prone for the final button to appear. Damn. So I retried, pressed the button, and put in the code. What do I get after putting in the code? Damn, that's a blast from the past. And then I just left the game and I got the camo. Is it worth it? In my eyes, it really depends if you want the camo to begin with. I'm just glad I was able to get my hands on this piece of Battlefield history. It's easy to do nowadays, yes, but back when it was first discovered, I would argue it was harder than doing an Easter egg in COD Zombies. But that's gonna about do it for this video. My name is Shadow, have a good day, and as always I will see you in the next one. Later.